Twitch Prime members get awesome in-game loot, exclusives and surprises for their favourite games. Check out the link in the description for more information. In PlayerUnknown'S Battlegrounds, 100 players enter, but only one will be crowned victorious and go home with that sweet chicken dinner. From shooting to looting, we've got everything you need to know to dominate from the moment you leap out the plane. First, the basics. The game takes place on a large island, and as the player, you'll need to scavenge for weapons and gear and fight other players to keep yourself alive. To make things even more interesting, the island is enclosed in a large circle that will shrink as the game goes on. Get caught on the outside of the circle and you'll start taking damage, but the smaller the circle gets, the closer the players are pushed together until the final showdown ensues. Everything begins on a plane, flying high above the map, and it's time to make your first decision: where to jump out. There are hotspots for loot all over the map, but the best areas can become heavily contested. If you go for one of these locations, you're more likely to start out with some good weapons, but only if you can survive the early fighting. The alternative is to go for a more remote area. There probably won't be as much good loot, but you're also less likely to run into other players early on, giving you more freedom to explore. Also, the longer you wait on the plane, the less likely you are to have players around, as most of them will jump out early on. Regardless of where you choose to land, there are some factors to take into account in how you reach the ground. If you're able to jump out the plane directly over your target destination, you want to aim straight down, to fall as fast as possible. Don't open your parachute, the game will do it for you at the last possible moment. The sooner you hit the deck, the sooner you can find a weapon to defend yourself. If you're going for a hotly contested area, this is a must. If your target destination is further away from where you jumped out, you should avoid diving. Keep your speed under 130 km an hour to maximise the distance you can travel while falling, and point your crosshair towards the horizon. If it's even further away, you'll have to open your chute early to reach it. With your feet on the ground, it's now time to start looting. Early on, grab anything useful you can find. You'll be able to drop things later as you find better loot, but a crappy gun is better than no gun when the bullets start flying. Looting quickly is key, so I have some useful tips for you. Rather than pressing the F key to pick up items, you can open your inventory and just right click the items you want to grab. If you landed near a lot of other players, ignore everything that isn't a gun until you're armed. If someone else picks up a useful item, you can just take it off their corpse. The basics of what gear does is pretty self-explanatory. Backpacks give you more carrying capacity, armour lets you survive more hits to the body, and helmets protect your head. Equipment like this also has levels, and the higher the level, the better the gear. Weapons come in all shapes and sizes. Early on, grab whatever you can, but as the game goes on, be sure to upgrade to better weapons as you find them. For most players, assault rifles are what you want. Also, as you pick up new weapons, make sure to drop any ammo you will no longer be needing to free up inventory space. Keep an eye out for attachments like scopes, suppressors and stocks to improve your weapons. To equip the attachment, either drag and drop them onto the highlighted slot or right click to automatically equip them. You'll also find items that will heal your character. Things like bandages and medkits will heal you instantly, while painkillers and energy drinks will fill your boost bar, located above your health bar. The more boost you have, the more perks you'll get. Being in the first part of the boost bar adds healing over time, being in the second increases that healing, the third increases your sprint speed, and the fourth makes you go even faster. Also note that your armour will only have a certain amount of durability, so you'll likely need to replace things if you take too much damage. Now that you've got some weapons, armour and consumables, it's time to go kick some ass. But remember, the odds are already against you. Don't take any risks that you don't have to. Gunfights will always draw attention to you, so while you're busy engaging somebody, you're likely to have someone else coming up behind you. Try to only take the fights that you have to, or in situations where you know you have the advantage. If you see two players fighting, don't be afraid to let one kill the other. When they run over to loot the corpse, you'll have an easy kill. Do whatever it takes to give yourself an edge. The same principle can be used if you find a supply drop or vehicle. They'll likely draw the attention from other players. So if you find a good spot, you can safely camp it and pick off targets. Other than players, your next biggest threat is the enclosing circle. As the game progresses, the blue circle will close in, restricting the play area. If you're on the outside of the circle, you'll take damage. Luckily, the circle is displayed on your map, so always be aware of how close it is. The blue line represents where the circle currently is. The white line is where it will be headed next. Pop-ups on screen and a meter in the bottom right will tell you how long you have until the circle closes to the white line. Keeping ahead of the circle might seem simple, but when you're caught up looting buildings and fighting other players, it can sneak up on you quickly, and once it's upon you, the only hope of outrunning it is with a vehicle. You can counteract some of the damage by having the heal over time effect in your boost bar. Also, if you're trying to outrun the circle, holster your weapon to move faster. You can also utilise the circle to protect your back. If you have the wall close behind you, it means you only have to focus on what's in front and to the side. From time to time, you'll also see red circles appear on your map. If it's on top of you, it's time to move, as these mark areas that are about to be bombed. Either escape the radius or get inside a building. Lastly, we have a few quick tips that will give you an even greater edge over the enemy. Crank up the volume. Being able to hear gunfire, vehicles and footsteps clearly will be amazingly helpful. Closing doors behind you can conceal your location. Most players will assume that a building with closed doors hasn't been looted yet. Bushes can provide great visual cover. Use them to your advantage to avoid the gaze of passers-by, but also be aware that the enemy could be hiding in one, waiting to pounce. Holding the Alt key will let you look around without changing the direction you're moving in. This is great to let you keep an eye out as you move around the map. It will also allow you to look in other directions while lying prone without moving your entire character and giving away your position. Hopefully this guide has given you a better understanding of how to succeed in Battlegrounds, as well as a few tips to give you an edge over the enemy. If you have any tips you'd like to add, please post them in the comments below. As always, this is James for Curse, saying thanks for watching and enjoy the game. Twitch Prime members get awesome in-game loot, exclusives and surprises for their favourite games. Check out the link in the description for more information.